All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about Devin the Dream Haney and what he had to say about Vasyl Lomachenko and the fact that Vasyl Lomachenko is still considered by many to be one of the best fighters in the world. Let's talk about what Devin Haney had to say, which I'm telling you, I am co-signing 100%. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. In this video, we're going to be in the lightweight division, speaking about Devin the Dream Haney and Vasyl the Matrix Lomachenko, two excellent fighters in that division. Devin Haney being the undisputed lightweight champion, and Vasyl Lomachenko at one point in time holding 3 of the 4 major belts, but failing to cross the finish line into the undisputed category. However, despite all that, ESPN still has Vasyl Lomachenko ranked ahead of Devin Haney and several other undisputed champions in boxing right now. And Devin doesn't like it and tells them something about themselves. Now, before I get into that, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are a longtime subscriber and supporter to the channel, thank you so much for your support. Please accept my invitation. If you're new to the channel, please accept my invitation to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos, which we do on a daily basis. All right, so let's get into this. Devin Haney just today, or I do believe it was today, made it onto ESPN's top 10 pound for pound list, which should be considered to be a major accomplishment in someone's career. Now, it's not an accomplishment that is necessarily going to put money in your pocket, at least not directly, but it is something to be recognized as and has some degree of cachet in the boxing world, right? Now, if you look at the top 10 pound for pound and you read down and you see Devin Haney, who just beat George Kambosos to become the undisputed lightweight champion, you look up a couple spots above him and you will see longtime stalwart of that list, Vasyl Lomachenko, right there. I do believe he's at number 6. I do believe he's at number 6. He may be at number 7, but I do believe he's at number 6. So you have Devin Haney, who is the undisputed champion, who beat George Kambosos, who beat Teofimo Lopez, who beat Vasyl Lomachenko, and somehow Devin Haney is 7, 8, 9, 10, 4 spots behind him on the list. Now, to boot, not only is he not on the list, there's also another undisputed champion. Is he below Vasyl Lomachenko? Because he is on the list. There's also an undisputed champion named Jermell Charlo, who has cleared out an entire division, who is not on that list at all. And also a multi-time secondary champion at 135 and an extremely talented fighter, undefeated fighter, knockout artist in Gervonta Davis, who is also not on that list. I do believe that Vasyl Lomachenko might be, other than Canelo Alvarez, the only fighter that is on that list that has 2 losses. Now, I'd have to go back and look at it again. There may be 1 or 2 guys that have losses, like Jermell Charlo had. Well, Jermell Charlo's not on the list, probably because he has a loss. However, that's not what happens with Vasyl Lomachenko. Now, what Devin Haney says about it specifically was, before telling him to take me off that list, was like, look, this is an extremely biased list. How do you have a guy that's not even active in Vasyl Lomachenko and you have an undisputed champion in his division below him on the list? How in the world does that work? This list is biased. Take me off that list. Now, somebody else, however, also along with that shared pretty much the same sentiment was Errol Spence Jr. when he said after Jermell Charlo won his undisputed title, he was like, man, will you please put Jermell Charlo on this list? In fact, he can take my spot, right? So you now have Devin Haney saying, look, man, you can take me off that list because of the biasness and having Vasyl Lomachenko above him. And then you have Errol Spence Jr. saying, just take me off the list so somebody else can be treated fairly. Now, I looked through the ESPN, you have the ESPN pound for pound list, but then you also have the individual votes that are put out there, and they tell you who is voting and what their list was. And I'm going to tell you, man, the guys that were the boxers actually had Gervonta Tank Davis. Like, the best guy, in my opinion, with the list that was on there was Andre Ward. Now, Andre Ward did have Vasyl Lomachenko. I do believe I don't know if he even had Vasyl Lomachenko on that. I don't even know if he had him on that list. In the middle of a video, I will do a check. So yeah, he didn't. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he didn't have him on there. Andre Ward's list was Terrence Crawford at number 1, Errol Spence at number 2, Monster Inoue at number 3, Canelo Alvarez at number 4. Obviously, he doesn't have a problem with steroid users. Alexander Usyk at number 5, Bivol at number 6, Stevenson at number 7, Haney at number 8, Gervonta at number 9, and Jermell Charlo at number 10. Andre Ward actually had enough sense to take a guy that does not hold any belts, whose last major fight that he fought was a loss, is not active, and has an undisputed champion in the same weight class actually below him on the list to get that right. Now, the problem with ESPN in their list is very, very obvious. First, it seems as if I'm not sure exactly who everybody that votes are, like who they are. There's several names of people on there that I just have to believe are boxing journalists. And I don't know whether these boxing journalists are trying to get a job at ESPN. So they just keep seeing, and maybe they watch guys that are on ESPN, just watch a lot of ESPN fights. But if you look at the list, the total list, it's like 6 out of the 10 guys fought on ESPN at one point in time or the other. And just the blatantly ignoring. I think the only PBC fighter that is on that list, I'm pretty sure the only PBC fighter on that list is Errol Spence Jr. The other ones are guys like Alexander Usyk, who's over on Matchroom. You also have Dimitri Bivol, who I'm not sure who is, but they have a couple of zone fighters. And the rest ESPN fighters and only one PBC fighter. It seems to me that is probably the biggest bias that they have there. But whatever the case is, it's almost like this list is about as credible as the BoxRec ones, where they have these preconceived what do you have it stats and stuff that they use for the record, where if you get one win, it vaults you way up the list. And even will, and if you lose, like for example, Callum Smith lost to Canelo Alvarez and flew up the list just because he got Canelo Alvarez's name on his list. So anyway, man, I appreciate what Devin Haney said about the biasness of it, specifically around Vasyl Lomachenko, because that's absolutely nuts. And it is nice to see that Andre Ward actually had more of a reasonable list. And you see several guys on there with pretty reasonable lists, but then you just have people out there in there voting on people that it's very, very, very obvious that they don't know what they're talking about. Where you have guys that literally have like Tyson Fury at number 2 pound for pound. And it's like, what rationale would you have for that? But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.